A local elected official is accused of some alarming crimes. This is a totally different story here. This one involving children, these crimes.
So Millersville Commissioner David Gregory, who you saw just behind us a moment ago, was booked into jail today. Jordan James has more on the arrest.
Commissioner David Gregory is charged with continuous sexual abuse of a child and aggravated sexual battery charges dating back to the 80s. Gregory is accused of committing sexual abuse from 1987 to 2026. He's alleged to have been involved with at least 3 children and committed sexual battery at least 7 times between 2024 and 2026, according to an indictment. This reportedly took place in Sumner County, and the victims were under the age of 13. Prior to being charged, multiple people testified before a grand jury, including 2 children. His arrest led to some other local leaders speaking out. Sumner County Commissioner Jeremy Mansfield released a statement to WSMV4 saying, quote, "I pray that the victims, family members, and friends of the victims receive justice for such heinous crimes. I hope that the sexual crimes that have occurred in Millersville for years, if not decades, will finally be exposed, and that the perpetrators will receive maximum punishment available under the law." Gregory is being held on a $750,000 bond. Sources say if he doesn't resign from the commission, he could be forced out. Reporting here in Millersville, Jordan James, WSMV4.